Hello, everyone. Welcome to Three Martini Lunch, the National Virtual Networking event powered by Rockstar Connect. I am your panelist and host, Stephen David Elliott. I'm the founder and creator of Rockstar Connect with my brilliant and talented wife, Sarah Elliott. Sarah is the producer of the show. She just set this up so that we are now nationally live on 250 Facebook groups.
Wow.
So a lot of people are seeing this. Those are all Rockstar Connect attendees that belong to those groups. And we will be rebroadcasting this on YouTube as well. We're real excited that we have people from all over the country joining us today, and some new faces and some old faces as well. This is number 20, right? Number 20, Sarah? Last week was number 19. Last week was number 19, I thought. Is it 19? Who remembers? 19 or 20? Oh, yeah, 20. It's number 20. This is number 20. That means we have been locked down way too long. Way too long. 20 weeks of doing this event. But I'll tell you, the attendees that write to us about the event and comment on it, they feel like they really are getting to know you panelists. They've told me that they've started to do business with you and they've connected with you, and the panelists are connecting with one another as well. So albeit we're not having as many live networking events as we normally would, we still have this consistently every week. This Thursday, we have a massive virtual networking event. Anyone from the country can go to it. It is our North Carolina event. If you go to the Rockstar Connect website, you can find that event. We're having a live event today in Palm Coast, Florida. They will be having an event, and we're excited about that. We had a great event in Michigan last week that was well attended, and hopefully we'll have a lot more events. How many of you went to the Three Martini Lunch Live here in Raleigh, North Carolina? Okay, so Clint, Jeff, Scott. Okay, so Katia, I'm sure you're going this time on the 27th. We'll make sure that you get an invite for that. But we have this great event. Jeff Messer actually made a video of it, and you can see it on our YouTube site and all our promotions of the event. We did this at Sullivan's, which is a very popular steakhouse here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The entire venue was sanitized and disinfected prior to the event to one of our sponsors. Jeff, what was the name? What's their name? I know it's Allen Hall, but do you remember the name of the sponsor? Because I feel really bad if we don't get that out there. And before the end of this call, we will mention their name on here and thank them again. It's EE something or another. But Allen Hall, great guy. You can friend him on Facebook. Now, Allen Hall and his company, they collected 5,000 meals for children last week here in the Raleigh area. Produce, and distributed it absolutely free of charge. They used their trucks. It was really cool. But the Three Martini Lunch, it was sanitized, disinfected. We had a special menu. Everyone was physically and socially distanced, and we had 70 attendees. Our next one is August 27th, also at Sullivan's between 11:30 and 1:30, and tickets are going out very quickly. There still are some sponsorship opportunities for that event. Make sure you sign up for it. So Three Martini, we're saying Three Martini a lot. I see Victoria has a martini. Who else has a drink with a little bit of a kick in it today? Well, Clint does not. Noah, of course, does. She's a real alcoholic. No, I'm kidding. She's not. She drinks like pomegranate juice or some nonsense like that. I'm having Irish coffee. Adam is having a protein shake, I'm sure, or some green shake or something like that. Norma's having her coffee because it's like 4 in the morning in California, where she's located. Katie had apple cider vinegar. Katie had a fun week. She had a couple cocktails I saw on her social media. Mark, did you go out to the boat? Just nod your head. Did you have a drink out there on the boat? You definitely had the suntan. You should have went out on the boat. We do this on it's called the 3 Martini Lunch because my grandfather, who was an incredible schmoozer, networker, connector, fixer, and king, he used to talk about how he was going to go to have a 3 Martini lunch with business associates. And he could do that 5 times a week. He could have 10 lunches in a week. And he would always come back with business and make great friends. And they would spend, a couple hours eating with one another or drinking with one another, and about 5 minutes discussing business. And in that 5 minutes, they nailed down some really exciting, incredible business. So Sarah and I always wanted to have a 3 Martini lunch event in addition to the evening events we host around the country and that our Rockstar Connect hosts host. But we never did it. But when COVID came, we said, why don't we have a 3 Martini lunch nationally? And that's what we're doing. And now we actually do have a physical 3 Martini lunch event that we are doing in the Raleigh area. This event that you're in right now, today, this virtual networking event, it's structured on the Success is Contagious model. Success is Contagious is a Rockstar Connect event that I started doing in 2008. It's very popular. It allows people to share their success with one another and work collaboratively to create big things. We felt is an excellent structure for virtual, and now we've hosted hundreds of events since COVID online utilizing this structure. The panelists all know this. I'm just doing it for the benefit of the people that are watching. So today, if you are one of the participants that are in the chat audience or you're watching this live on Facebook, recognize you can put your questions there. We're going to get them. We're going to answer them. You can go to the website. You can send questions. So we'll ask panelists next week. But what I want my host to do is to share with me your success for the week, because that's the best way people are going to know who you are, by what you define as a success. Now, that success can be business. The success can be family related. The success could be, hey, I just woke up today. It can be any of those things. Also, tell me briefly a little bit about yourself, especially if you are new to the program. Feel free to take a little bit more time, because nobody knows who you are. Although it looks like everyone has been here before except for Victoria and Adam. Before we jump into your success, so you can start thinking about your success, I want to thank the host of the 3 Martini Lunch, Todd Swicegood of Referral Book. And Todd has been a great friend of Rockstar Connect. He has created a tool that you can utilize to grow your referral business in a painless manner. Do it efficiently. And that's what we're all about at Rockstar Connect. All of our host events every month, and they do it consistently. They're able to do that, unlike their competitors or other people in their community, because of the efficiency of utilizing the Rockstar Connect program and the Rockstar Connect team. It's the same thing using Referral Book for creating that referral business. So it's a disruptor, and I can say this, it's a disruptor to BNI. BNI is a great program. You will get a lot of business in it, but you have to dedicate a tremendous amount of time. You have to go to weekly meetings. There's a cost associated with it, and you will have great impact and you will make business. But it gets difficult. You start making money and you start having business and you don't pay attention to your BNI. Not all of you. Some of you are religious about it. Other people, not so much. You're a little more agnostic. With Todd's program, from the comfort of your home and meeting only once a month, you're able to grow a large sphere of influence, an incredible circle built around you that will give you business every single month, because it's required, just like in BNI. Todd, do you want to tell us, first of all, where you are right now? We know you've been on this incredible tour, and what do you have to bring to us good news about Referral Book today?
Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad to be here. I'm sitting at what will be my office for the coming months, and I'm off the road, and I'm very thankful for that. 11,000 miles and over 10,000 realtors reached in the time of COVID. So we had a very successful roadshow I'm very thankful to be out of my vehicle. Um, as it relates to our successes, we're starting to see realtors all over the country and and many other professions start to use referral book to build their referral networking. I might be a little crusty today. I got in at 4 a.m. last night and got in the desk at 7:30, so I'm a little shy of the sleep right now. Yeah, Clint Webb, we do need to schedule that drink for sure. Anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to be back on here with you guys. I think you guys are doing a great thing. Referral book, I think, is a disruptor for this reason. We were COVID friendly before there was COVID. And just as you're adapting the 3 Martini lunch right here, we've adapted referral book to allow someone to become the center of their circle. And as the center of their circle, they should get more attention. More attention should equate to more top of mind awareness and ultimately more referrals. And from a cost effective point of view, we have 2 types of memberships. Membership 1 is that of the founder builder, costs you nothing. As a matter of fact, we'll compensate you when you bring your members on because we want to give you capital to spend. When you have the chance to go put your mask on and have coffee with somebody, Stephen, I think you agree with me. You and I are the
we have people come over to the house and we social distance. You've been over. We've had meetings here. We have had networking events. Do I meet a lot of people for coffee? I mean, I've always used Zoom for most of my one-on-ones and follow-ups. Some of the people here I've known for years, and we've only communicated on Zoom. Rhonda, I have met Kristi in person. I made sure of that, but most of the time, our conversation is over the phone.
Yeah, Zoom is a phenomenal and necessary evil, and it's great that we have it. But ultimately, we compensate our builders when they bring referral members on, so that they can spend money back into their networking. I'm of the belief that, and I don't know what each and every one of you, from a profession's point of view, do. But I believe that you could spend 3 hours a day in a coffee shop with the right people networking and make 6 figures over and over again. So we want to contribute to that effort. Lastly, we're finding that there's a lot of value. I believe that most people on here are white collar, from what I can tell. And white collar does tend to move towards the networking world much better. We think we need to train and bring on a lot of blue collar folks because you know what? They can refer business to all of us and us to them. And that's working very well. And I'm happy to see blue collar really start to understand the value of networking.
Well, fantastic. And Todd, do you have any specials for someone? I know that people can start their circles for free. How would they start doing that?
They go to referralbook.com and put in your email address and click here to start your circle for free. It'll take you 2 minutes to onboard. We have a process, and I think our secret sauce is that we give. Okay, let me back up. Everybody on here, I think, is probably a natural networker, but we have a lot of people that bring a lot of value in their lives from teaching them to network, and we have a process that can help those people who are not natural networkers to really enhance their networking circle. And we give that process away to those individuals. And I'm starting to see it really take off. There's just a lot of value in training a process of building a referral networking circle.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We're really glad that you're back with us and stationary for a change, because usually we're hearing about some disaster on the road out in Mad Max world, because that's what I assume the rest of the United States looks like. Like Raleigh's still in good shape. The rest of you guys, it's like absolute ruins. You have the killer hornets and the land sharks and COVID and just death and destruction and no police officers or anything like that. It's really good here in Raleigh. If you want to move here, I can help. I know a guy who can help you find a house. Hey, thank you, Todd, very much for being with us. We have a new panelist with us today. We're going to start with her first. And she is going to tell us a little bit about herself, but I'm going to try to fill in some of the information about Victoria Wood. And then she's going to tell us a little bit more about herself, and she's going to share her success. Now, Victoria, in the second hour, we have a question that I'm not going to tell you the question, that everyone's going to answer. And this one, I think this week is a really good question. I think it's a really good question. It's going to really make people, you know, put up or shut up sort of question. But Victoria is a CPA. She is a radio host. No, you're not a CPA. I'm giving you a CPA license. She is a financial expert. She is a national and international speaker. She is an author. She has her own radio show. She is known as the Financial Diva. I'm going to let her give a little bit more introduction about herself, and then if you could share with us your success for the week, Victoria. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Here. Oh, I thought you had me muted. I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you if you did.
I have no control over that. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I have heard a lot about the Rockstar whole networking for about a month or so. So thank you, first of all, for inviting me. Second of all, yes, I am Chief Investment Advisor at Chapelwood Financial. I am the founder of the company. I do have my own radio show, have since 2003. It is titled, It's All About the Money, Honey. I also have a book by the same title. And most recently, I wrote my second book, thanks to COVID. What else are we going to do, right? So I took the opportunity because some women were saying that there's all this sales training, like you talked about, Todd, networking. There's all this training, but it's all done by men. And some female from a telecommunications company, T-Mobile, simply said to me, I'd sure like to see a woman chiming in. And I was like, oh, I'll find you a woman. And couldn't. So I did the book, and it's how to outsell the boys in 30 days or less. We're starting an e-challenge. So that's been a really big success for me, just completing that manuscript, having book publishers wanting me to publish the book through them. I self-published the first time. That was very exciting. So I'm thinking we'll do the actual, go through the whole process with the publishers. The other thing is we have during COVID, like everybody else, had to learn to pivot. And it was, you know, seeing people in person. We didn't stop working here in Oklahoma. We started, but we had people work remotely. We actually just, two of us worked, but I have 4,500 square feet. So two of us could certainly social distance with no problem in the building. Yeah. So it's been really exciting. I'm very excited to be here. I look forward to the question, but the success of the week is, for me, is finishing the manuscript and getting appointments with publishers, but also I got a referral this week, and I am used to people coming to me at this point in my career. So it was a real challenge for me to actually pick up the phone and call this stranger. So it was, and it turned out great. All I had to do, the guy tried to hang up on me. And I said, whoa, 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 buddy. And he said, excuse me? I said, well, maybe I should have led with, this is the financial diva Victoria Woods, instead of this is Victoria Woods from Chapelwood. And we had a 35 really great conversation, and I was very excited about that. So.
Well, congratulations, and your other success is being invited to be on this panel.
Absolutely. I am so honored. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us. Speaking about women salespeople, we have joining us today for the first time on the panel, a phenomenal saleswoman. She's been, I'm not going to say how many decades she's been selling, because that wouldn't be, you know, I'd be giving too much information about her age. But she's been selling a long time. In fact, you guys remember Great Expectations from the 90s? When they used to have the videotapes, you know, dating on the internet. Clint, you will remember 100%. It was like $10,000 to join. It was crazy. This woman, she was the #1 salesperson for that company in the entire country. So not only did she sell a lot of those programs, she got a lot of people, you know, ended up, you know, connecting with one another in less than obvious ways. So I'd like to welcome her today, Kristi Castle. If you can unmute yourself. if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing today, but most importantly, what has been your success this week? I know you've been trying some interesting marketing online.
Yeah, and actually it's working out fairly well, very well. I did some Facebook marketing, and it was a little bit different. Everyone told me not to start out with a negative, but people seem to like that, so I did. And gosh, I've got like 50 leads the first 10 days that I actually started running it, and I've been 5 conversations of potential people moving to Naples that are legitimate. So it was really good. But I've also taken some negativity online as well. So it's been pretty interesting.
Take the good, take the bad, you get them both, and there you have the facts.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you, I was in a hotel in Westchester, New York, starting our Westchester event with Nick Chaffee, my partner. And we were in the hotel lobby. We look up on the TV screen. There was an advertisement in Westchester, New York for Kristi Castle selling property in Naples. And like I said, she is very innovative. She's going where the customers are instead of just like dealing with the same pool of people that are in her area. And I know that in this latest campaign, she created a video that showed urban areas around the country that were less than perfect, and said, hey, why not move to Naples? Here, at least you can be miserable at the beach. And that was basically her campaign, and obviously a lot of success with that. Thank you for joining us, Kristi. Stick around. At the second hour, we're going to ask you the question that I know you're going to have a great answer for.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome another new panelist, and then I'm going to get to our good friends, our gold friends. Adam Bricker. He is he is in Florida. He actually grew up in South Florida, where I grew up, and we played a lot of. There's a game called Jewish Geography that all Jews from around the world start to play once they get on the phone with one another to determine whether they are going to do business with one another. You start naming off people that you went to school with, high school, elementary. I mean, Rhonda knows this game. Mark knows this game very well. You start talking about who you knew, where you grew up, what type of food you eat, etc. And then you say, we're cousins, we're family, we can do business with one another. And Adam has created this incredible product that's very helpful for networking that you guys are going to want to learn about. You can go to his, he's going to tell you the website, and we're going to drop it in there. It's a marketing tool that utilizes your own personal digital card that you're able to drop and do. You can do text marketing, regular campaigns, drip campaigns, and the sky is the limit of what you can do with your product. But Adam, first of all, what's your website? And then share with us what your success has been for this week.
Thanks, Stephen. Happy to be here after so many weeks of sitting on the outside watching the panel, to be on top and to be involved with you guys. So hi, everybody. It's been a pleasure watching you. I dropped the website in the link. It's Adam Connects, and it's up here on my screen. AdamConnects.com, AdamConnects.net. Both will get you in. One is my digital business card portal. So it's not just a digital business card. It's actually the ultimate digital branding toolbox. Anything you do to brand your company, you can put right into your phone on your card. Videos, podcasts, pictures, slogans, logos, whatever you're doing, even live Facebook, right now you put it right on the card, and it's real simple. Even to go above that, anybody who loves you in the way that you do business, they're either connected to your soul, connected to your strategies. They can click one button and give you a referral to anybody they know via text or email. So it's real simple. There's a lot of artificial intelligence in there. But what we do is really automate your marketing process, not just meeting people, but what's the one key that so many people drop from networking? It's the follow-up. You can pre-program your follow-up to be automated before you even go to the networking event. So those are some of the things I do on a digital branding toolbox called Adam Connects.
I see there's a similar, it's Adam and you're Adam.
Yes. Funny how that works.
Funny how that works. And another success that Adam had, much like you, Clint, you lost, what, over 75 pounds? Was that right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not during COVID. I did that before.
But
But,
then you've kept it off for what, 5 years now, something
yeah,
like that?
I'm just, I'm single and I live on the beach. So I'm in pretty good shape right now. And I find that works for me very well, except for, with COVID restrictions.
So people that are watching that are also single, Adam is going to drop his address and his phone number and some choice pictures inside of the chat, so you can connect with him later. He is hosting people at his condo on the beach in Florida, so please take advantage of this time limited offer.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to jump over to Jeff Messer, because we usually end up with Jeff all the way at the end, and then he gets exhausted and he's like, oh my God, I thought he forgot me, and he has nothing to say. So I want to get him when he's nice and fresh. Now, Jeff made this incredible, his company's called Enreach, and he made this incredible video for Rockstar Connect of our 3 Martini Lunch Live. And the purpose of the video was to show how it was a safe event and how everyone there had a great time, still wearing masks, still being separated from one another. I mean, we used a venue that holds 400 people, and there were 70 of us. So there was quite a bit of space in there, great air ventilation, and everyone had an incredible time. But Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for companies, and what has been your success for the week?
Sure. So we do video production, and we really specialize in virtual meetings like this and helping companies reach folks beyond what they used to be able to do, which is face-to-face meetings, but live events, virtual events, and your typical marketing promos and videos that you would expect. My success for the week is building a brand new, blazing fast video editing computer after not having built a computer in 25 years. So I had to sharpen my old skills of putting stuff together again. Going back to my strength that we talked about last time, I'm a tech guy, I figure stuff out.
Well, also, I want to toot Jeff's horn for him, because he doesn't. So I'm going to toot it for him. We have, there's a business here locally in Raleigh called, what's Plus? What is the full name, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Plus Dueling Piano Bars. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Plus Dueling Piano Bars. And when they were opening, we were so incredibly excited in the networking community. Everyone supported this guy, shared his stuff online. And I mean, they were blowing it out of the water. In their first few months, they were doing over $1 million revenue per month. And they got to the point where they were doing $3 million revenue per month. They were shut down by COVID because they're considered a bar. And Jeff created a video promoting them and showing the problems they're going through, basically a documentary of what a small business, how this impacts a small business. And I've heard that they are going to be reopening as a restaurant. So I'm very excited, and I hope anyone who's coming to the Raleigh area can support it. And Jeff, we can't wait to see that video when it's completed.
Well, thanks. And we're also going to be shooting a live concert from, even though it's shut down, it's just the musicians. We'll be shooting a live virtual concert from there potentially tomorrow night, but I think that's probably jumping the gun without any promotion. So maybe when they get back from an out-of-town trip. But yes, we're doing a very long documentary, maybe a 3-part series that is a huge project. Not our typical work, but still something we're pretty passionate about because it's an important story to tell.
It's an important story, and it's an amazing business. Like, Victoria, you should open one in Oklahoma, because it would kill there. Absolutely kill. They have like 2 pianos on stage and a drum set, and everyone's singing. It's participatory, which, networkers, we absolutely love that. Also, Jeff will be at the 3 Martini Lunch on the 27th. He will be doing some video there. He's also going to be taking some testimonials about the events and do a quick video of all the sponsors, the great sponsors that will be at the event, so they can talk about their business and their experience. Okay, Norma, Hollis, you're in California. Let's do the California people. So you're on deck after Norma, Rhonda. Hi, Norma. Tell us a lot about yourself and what has been your success for the week. Before you start, though, I do like to say coaches are my favorite. And now I also learned last week, I learned about something called trainers. So I love coaches and trainers as panelists on the show. So if anyone in the audience is a coach or trainer and would like to be on the program, you bring a lot of value to our national audience, and we really appreciate you. And also, it helps us other panelists frame what we want to say intelligently, because we're using you as our model. Norma, go right ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, thank you. I am a coach and a trainer, and more importantly, I write programs for human development. And I turn those into coaching and training programs. So I'm sitting right now in front of my authenticity grid, which is a result of 30 years of research into human nature from personal, professional, and spiritual perspective. And it's the foundation that I use for training coaches. I certify coaches and speakers. I used to own a speakers bureau. So I certify coaches and trainers to teach authenticity, which is really a self-awareness program. It dissects the energy that we all have in ourselves, and helps you look at yourself from a different perspective and give you great insight to who you are, what you're doing, increasing your leadership decision-making skills. And I coach to that. And my great success happened about an hour ago. I just closed a 2-year coaching certification client. So I'm working with her. Yeah, thank you. I'm working with her for personal development, leadership, and public speaking skills. And so she'll be speaking at my live events. I had one last weekend. My first one that I've done on Zoom. It was really successful. The comment I heard most often was very insightful. So that's what I do, help people to get more insight into themselves, their lives, and how to make transformation. So all good over here in California.
That's terrific. For me to say how much I love coaches and trainers, that's a big transformation for me. Because when I first heard about coaches and trainers like 10 years ago, I was a little bit skeptical about it. And then, like in any other industry, the cream rises to the top. So the people that are around and doing this as a business, they have something of a lot of value that people are willing to pay for, real incredible specialized skills that they're able to teach us, and things that we were not taught in college. They do not teach it in college. We certainly didn't get it in elementary school, and we're sort of being remediated now. So thank you to all you coaches. Rhonda, Sher out in California, fantastic coach and trainer. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your successes are this week, Rhonda.
Well, it's nice to see you, and Norma. So nice to see you. We've known each other a very long time. So I feel like I'm at home when I come here. And I promise not to play Jewish geography, okay? So I'm a LinkedIn expert, and what I really do is I teach people how to use LinkedIn to book 2 to 10 appointments a week at a minimum with your ideal prospect or referral partner. I lovingly like to say I get people out of the LinkedIn Witness Protection Program so they can get found and get paid. My success is actually something I jokingly have always said, I don't know if you know this about me, Stephen, but I have what's called ALD, addictive learning disorder. I'm always learning, right? And I think COVID has been one of the greatest gifts in terms of being able to take on learning new things that I normally would not have had time for. And Joel Bauer, who probably nobody has ever heard of, he's the guy that actually trained Russell Brunson and Brendan Burchard and all those big names. I study with him. I'm in his elite coaching program. And I found a program that he's endorsing called Groove Funnels, which is very similar to ClickFunnels, but in the beta state. And I put a link in the chat, and I put my affiliate link a little bit further down. I didn't type it correctly, but there's a free version. And so for me, that's a huge success because I'm launching 3 online courses, and I'm going to be putting them into Groove Funnels. And the cool part is that if you choose to sign up under Groove Funnels and you want to work with me, you will get everything that I get from Joel because I have permission. That is like really amazing that you're going to be able to share those funnels and everything else that goes with it. So it's landing pages, email. I am over the top excited about it. Almost as excited as I am about being here.
It's very exciting, and I'm excited because I have a coaching session with Rhonda tomorrow. We're doing our 6-month review of my LinkedIn profile to make it more relevant to what I'm doing today and what's going on today. That Groove Funnel sounds like an incredible product. Katie, you should probably have a call with Rhonda soon so you can sell one of your courses through Groove Funnel.
It's awesome. And make sure you look at the second link in there. And I put my email. I'm happy to jump on a call with anybody. And if I could add one quick thing, Stephen, that I think
Yes.
would be helpful. I don't think there's anybody sitting here or that's out there that doesn't think Stephen David Elliott is beyond amazing, because you are. Okay. And he did not pay me to say this. I just love this man. Okay. If I could adopt you as my uncle, I would. And if you're on LinkedIn, please give him a recommendation. Number one, it will actually give you some more credibility, because the last recommendations that is there, people see. And number two, Stephen, you deserve it more than anybody. You know, you do such an exceptional job putting this program on, and LinkedIn is where all the business people are. So if you haven't connected with Stephen yet, connect with him. And if you haven't given him a recommendation, do that, because more people need to know about this program and what he's doing and how he's changing the face of networking, where, you know, really just success does. How do you say it, Stephen? Success?
Success is contagious.
Yeah, success is contagious. I love that. So that's my ask, is give Stephen a recommendation on LinkedIn. And thanks, because I just love this. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. If you guys, any of you do that, I'll be really excited, because Rhonda and I will see them tomorrow when we do our look at the profile. Thank you, Rhonda. I really appreciate that. That was very sweet. I'm a little choked up. Ray Fuentes, also out in California. We're going to do all the West Coasters first. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Real estate coach, real estate agent, military veteran, officer and a gentleman.
Let's not go too far.
What are your success?
Well, so you forgot I'm the red shoe broker. I wear red Converse every day for everything. Okay, so if you ever see a picture of red Converse, you'll remember me. It's funny because I guess you can call this as a success. I've been wearing red Converse and using that brand for, I don't know, 6 years, maybe 7 years now. And I went to preview a home with a client, but the other agent had to be there. So she unlocked the door for us. We went in. I said, thank you very much. You know, we're wearing masks and everything. My client has a question, and I come back out. I asked her the question. She goes, I've seen you on video. I said, really? Yeah. She goes, I don't remember you, but I remember the red shoes. So my branding apparently works. I'm super excited about that. But my success is I had an opportunity to write 3 real estate offers last week. That's my business success. And in the past, I used to read, I know it's not a lot for some of you. My daughter, for example, reads a book like in 2 days. But my goal has been for a long time to read 1 book a month. And I did that consistently for a long time. And then for whatever reason, I got out of the habit of doing it within a month, a 30-day period. So I just started that again. I'm super excited about the book I'm reading right now is called The Compound Effect. So I'm very interested in that. You know, doing things.
Do you read those on a physical book, or do you read them on a Kindle? Okay, great.
Yeah, great question. I read them on a physical book, and I take notes and things like that.
You know, I only wear red socks.
Well, there we go.
Only wear red, not the red shoes, but only red socks. And it's very helpful in the morning when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you don't have to tell the difference between navy blue, black, and brown socks like most men.
I agree with you.
Socks are red. Very, very easy. Thanks for joining us, Ray. And Ray will
Thanks for having me.
Ray will be starting live events soon as we can find a venue that can accommodate them out in Sacramento.
If I could just one more interjection.
Yes, please.
I think I mentioned this last week. When we got locked down, I started interviewing the people that were attending Rockstar events here, and I did it like a television show, late night show. And once we opened up, I stopped doing that, and I realized that was a mistake. I'll be doing that again. So since we're doing it on Zoom, it doesn't matter if you're here in California or in Florida. So if you're interested in creating a video like a Know You, Like You, Trust You with an interview with me, I'd love to have you. I'll be putting my information on the chat. Please contact me. Thanks, Stephen.
Now, Ray's been hosting events. He's going on to his 3rd year of hosting Rockstar Connect events. And what he is discovering, as have our other hosts and attendees, even though you're going to a local event, once you go to a Rockstar Connect event, you're playing on a national playing field. You have the opportunity to reach out to anyone, any other host, any other attendee, and just ask Rockstar Connect to make that connection for you. And it'll be amazing how your business grows. I mean, that's our hosts make as much business from other hosts as they do from the attendees that are coming to their events. Welcome, Mark Sher from South Florida. Apparently, you are the epicenter of infection down there. What did you do wrong, Mark?
Well, it wasn't me.
Okay. I'll take
One of the
it.
things I just, interesting from the factoid's perspective, the thing that made New York the epicenter in the beginning was you had people coming from Europe. What most people don't realize is that, or they might realize is that right now South America is the most infected continent in the world. And even though it's supposed to be closed, people do get out, get on planes, and the first place they come is Miami. So that's one of the things that's driving the infection rate here. And it's something that, people just don't want to report for whatever reason. Let's talk about successes. So my big success this week was thinking positively and pushing Isaias, the hurricane, to not come to Miami. That was my big success this week.
You did a great job. Everyone is going to be very grateful to you.
Well, down here, people up your way, probably not so happy. But
we were very lucky here. I think all of us here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we slept through the whole thing.
Okay. Well, as you know, I live right on the water, so it's a little scarier. Business success. We're very blessed because what we do is we teach people financial literacy. And we make them understand that the most important thing with becoming financially successful before you can even really get investment returns is that it's debt. And people don't realize that. And when we show them that, it just lightens up their life. Because someone who's, let's just say, putting money into a 401k, yeah, they're getting a match and all that good stuff. But when we show them, oh, do you have a mortgage? What's your interest rate? I've just go a small one. I've got a $300,000 mortgage at 5% for 30 years. And I say, so what do you think your interest rate is? It's 5%. Well, first month, first year, it's 78%. Their PI payment's $1,610, the interest is $1,250. And they'll go, well, Mark, mortgages are front loaded. And I go, that's true. That's why in the 10th year, your interest rate goes down to 63%. In the 20th year, you're at 38%, 39%. You're not paying 5.3% until when? To the middle of the 29th year. And I say, how much do you earn in your brokerage account or in your 401k? And well, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 or 12 on a lucky year. I go, let us show you how to eliminate all your debt in 9 years or less without spending any more than you're currently spending. Then start putting money into a brokerage account. It'll be supercharged. So our big thing is we don't care how much you earn. We're more concerned with what you lose. And there's just so many people with COVID who are waking up to the fact that they really don't have enough money to last more than 90 days. I mean, that's 85% of the United States doesn't have enough money to survive 90 days if they lose their jobs. And it's pretty scary, and it's waking a lot of people up. I think a lot of people got really complacent after the 07, 08, 09 crisis, and now it's just making them wake up and go, wow, we forgot we really should be paying attention. So it's keeping us extremely busy. And Stephen, I owe you a special thanks today. Do you know why?
No idea.
Well, I had talked to Adam back in March, and I have all the documents. I was just looking at them on my email, and I've been so busy I spaced out and forgot to get back to him. Adam, you'll be hearing from me in the next day or two. Great. He's got a great product for sure.
So Mark's company is Your Family Bank. Mark has been hosting an event with us in Miami for 3 years. In addition to that, he brought many other people from his company in, dozens that have hosted events all around the United States. And they have incredible success with their event. Not only are they building great communities in their area, they have generated millions of dollars of commission from their networking event. So we really appreciate Mark and your family bank for really teaching us what our program can do for the success of our hosts. So absolutely much appreciated. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Stephen.
From New York, Michael Arrick, tell everybody a little bit about what you do and what your success has been this week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, appreciate you all being here. Glad you guys are safe. Steve and Sarah, I really appreciate you putting this together. It took a little while for everybody to start to kick in. The backgrounds weren't too pretty, and everybody cleaned everything up, and now we're really getting used to this new way of life. So I appreciate you all being here. My name's Michael Arrick. I'm a real estate agent in New York and Florida. I really practice mostly in New York, but every time I sold a house, I was fully unemployed. I just realized there has to be a better way of making money. So I always did something part-time, spare times, to cracks in my schedule. And then I realized that this is much better. I'm just working from home. I have a home-based business where people can work from home, get paid on services everybody uses every day. Not to brag, but I'm number 3 in the entire country in the company out of 500,000 reps. And it's just because I made a decision, and I just love helping people. I actually had my first person crying on a webinar about what I'm doing for his life and for his friends and his best friends. So that was a breakthrough for me to have that happen, and then have him send me a text that was just, put tears in my eyes. So, just like he just said, 85% of American, somebody down in Florida, Mark, 85% of American families don't, if they 90 days, they're done. They're broke. That's it. And the way we make money is, trading time for money. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. You have another way, leverage, building, residual income. I get paid on bills and people use every day. Over 1,500 customers that pay their bill each month, I get paid on, and I only talk to about 15. And half of these people I don't even know. And I want to thank you for me putting together, me and Todd. We're talking, we're coming up with something big, and me and Todd are gonna getting really windy here, upstate New York. We're gonna do something with referral books. So I love to connect with you guys. I miss connecting. So
I understand that Todd Swicegood, a referral book, after last week's panel, had a several-hour conversation with you guys, and you're building empires together.
Yes, we're going to be doing something big. So we're going to talk about it with the team, and then if it works out, we're going to expand out to other cross lines throughout the country. Home-based business is the #1 Google search right now. Everybody wants to work from home. Nobody wants to wear a mask. I mean, you hated your job before you went to work, and you didn't have to wear a mask, and now you really hate your job because you got to wear a mask. So, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, we're talking about a $200 business that can change your life. This business changed my card, my address. I mean, I don't even leave my house. I sit here in my living room and just go to work. I'm in like 7 or 8 PVZs a day throughout the country. And I'm just about to go into the UK now. I'm working on that. So I appreciate you all being here, and I love learning from everybody, and I love to network with everybody. So, thank you. Thank you for your advice.
Well, thank you, Michael. And Michael hosts an event for Rockstar Connect in the Hudson Valley area. It started a few months before COVID. It was really, building up, and we can't wait till he can be doing live events again with Rockstar Connect. I do want to bring up, I didn't mention this, but Kristi is our 3rd host in the entire country. So she's been hosting events for about 4 years, I think, Rockstar Connect events, never missing an event except, for COVID. So congratulations to you, Kristi. I'm going to go over to Katie. I thought I lost you for a second, but we have so many panelists. We're over onto the other screen. So Katie, I'm going to give you a second because I know there's always a delay on your mic.
There's always a delay on my mic?
Well, no, the sound, the mute part.
Oh, right, because I always hit the wrong button.
You hit the wrong button. I didn't want to say that. But
you'd think I'd be used to the Zoom thing by now.
Right?
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Blomquist, and I'm the founder and executive director of the nonprofit Going Places. And we provide new custom bikes to every single child at once in the low-income elementary schools in big surprise bike reveals. So we're giving like 400, 600 custom bikes at once. It's going to look a little bit different this year. We're still trying to figure that out. But we also give Halloween costumes, and we give We gave bundles of joy out this year to kind of pivot, which were basically gift bags full of fun activities for the whole family to do together. So a lot of these low-income families don't really know how to spend positive time together. And we provide the staff that work at these schools with gifts of joy as well, since there isn't a PTA or PTO to ever do anything for them. And then I have a separate company where I teach people how to start a nonprofit through an online course. It's 7 months long, and I take you literally step by step through that first year. And the reason it's so long is because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. If there's 18 lessons and I just giving it to someone all at once is too much. And I take all the guesswork out for you by providing you with even, your board meeting agenda. Like, here's your agenda, just fill in your own information. I give you every downloadable document, every type of worksheet you need, everything to take the guesswork out, because people have busy lives. They don't have time to figure it out. They want to make a difference now. I've been able to make my nonprofit go truly viral. And since that initial going viral, I've kept up national media flying in every single year for the past 3 years to cover it, in addition to all the local media that constantly covers our work. So there's certain things that I'm doing I don't see other nonprofits doing, and I want to share that with people. I don't think it's a competition. I want people to make a difference, and there's enough money to go around for everybody. So I want to help others make a difference in the community as well. And to answer the question, what is good news for this past week? We have a big campaign running right now it's called the Joy Outreach Team, and we have 8 people that are signed up who live in our community that want to help us fundraise. And they have exactly a month, August 1st to August 31st. And they each have made their own goals between $2,000 and $5,000 about they all selected. But the goal is between 20 and 30 total. And they each have kind of different virtual fundraisers going on and different things like that to help us fund possibly, we get $20,000 to $30,000, we can fund another school as quickly as possible with bikes. And just like an asterisk, I say the school just because it's easier to say that, but the school doesn't actually benefit. It's just our means to get to the kids. So a lot of, sponsors and people don't give money when it's for a school or church or something. It's not for the school. We just say it's a school full of kids, but the kids get the bikes and take them home. The school's not benefiting.
Well, what I think is really cool is you make not-for-profits seem glamorous.
Yeah.
And that's, rare. I mean, most, not-for-profits sort of, it sounds boring, but you really make it exciting and glamorous. I know a lot of the people out there in the audience on Facebook have wanted to start their own not-for-profit or support a not-for-profit with their business. Katie is definitely one to reach out to.
Yes, we're looking to expand into other cities. And the way we'll do that is if a company wants to be the only sponsor for a school of kids near their business. And we had that happen actually once here locally, where a company funded all of the bikes for a school near them. And then they're the only sponsor. We put their logo on the bikes since our bikes are custom made. They really stand out. They're a neon color, which we switch out every year, and a white. So when you see 15 kids riding down the street in these neon, yellow and white bikes, or neon green and white bikes, whatever the color is that year, you remember it. So it's really good marketing for your company to show you're actually making a direct difference in the community. And companies can go in on it together. There's also sustained funding where we break up the cost over a couple of years. There's lots of options in ways if you want to help but can't, pay for it all in one big sitting.
Excellent. Thank you so much for all that information, Katie. Check her out. Her information is in the chat. Diego Munoz, welcome back.
Good to be back, Stephen. Thank you. Great to see so many great faces.
Great to see you. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself, but more importantly, what has been your success since we've seen you last?
Well, I'm a commercial real estate broker. So I do buying, selling, leasing, investing, and developing of commercial real estate. But my success that I'd like to share today is probably going to sound contrary, but then I think those of you who are coaches in the room will get exactly where I'm coming from. So my success started this morning at about 7:30 when I had to fire a client. Let that sink in a moment. And if those of you who understand the importance of good energy and faithful energy, I was not about to let that be the definition of my day. So by noon, and I should mention, I made a commitment to myself that by noon, I was going to triple that return. So by noon, based on referrals, I had a new listing client, a new buyer client, and a new tenant rep client and all of which were going to be at the end of the day of more value than the one I lost at 7:30 in the morning. And to me, that was just enjoyable. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I had a quick conversation with my team this morning about it, and they were all, oh, I'm so sorry. It sounds horrible. And I said, you don't understand how freeing my day has become, because I've decided to define the energy that I was going to have for the day. Going into a 2 o'clock phone call with all of you, I am floating right now. So it's a great day for me. It's going to be a wonderful afternoon. There's great energy in this group. And I appreciate the opportunity to share with you what I consider to be a huge success.
Awesome. We're coming. That's some great successes. We're coming up on the second hour. We have a few more panelists to answer our success question. We're going to speak a little bit to Scott Rutter. If there are any panelists that want to take a walkout break to go freshen up their drink or freshen themselves up, they're welcome to. But we are going to be getting back to you in the second hour with our question of the week for 3 Martini Lunch. Okay, Clint Webb. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what has your success been this week?
Sure. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you guys again. And the new panelists, it is amazing to see new folks. So that is great news. Good job on that, Stephen and Sarah. My name is Clint Webb. I work for Coeco Office Systems. So we're a locally owned company that does copier, printer, small managed IT, managed print services, large format printing, small production stuff. And we've been in the business over 99 years. And all of our people are local. We can do other states and cities, of course, and we actually take care of vetting the people that come in there to work on your machines for you. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. So a success for me this week, a couple of things. Number one, I was able to have a great conversation with Mr. Swicegood and procure a influencer code. So I'm going to be starting my circle tomorrow, and some of you on here will be in said circle, hopefully. And also, I closed a cash deal, which is kind of rare, but I picked up a $10,000 check from a client and was able to get them furnished with their services that they needed within a 48-hour period. And I have something for Ray real quick. Check out Jim Quick. If you've never heard of Jim Quick, Kwik, and he will teach you how to read a book a week or a book a day. But he is absolutely incredible. And not only is he great for brain tricks, but he is one of the best people in the personal, getting to be a better you space. So I would definitely recommend looking him up for sure.
Clint, why don't you drop that into the chat for everyone so that everyone can look that up. Thank you very much, Clint. Congrats on that check. Are you going to deliver that to the office, or you just keep that yourself since it's cash?
I already delivered it. I had to deliver it to order the machine that they wanted. The machine is coming in tomorrow, and their corporate offices are actually opening on Friday. She called me on Friday in kind of a panic because she didn't know if she would be able to get this. It's normally like a 2-week turnaround or so for what we've done, but because we are a small, a family-owned business, and we have great relationships with everybody that we deal with, we were able to get this done and make it happen.
Very good. Thank you, Clint. Hey, Noah, I know you have to drop out. You have an appointment coming up, but we definitely want to know a little bit more about you. It's been a few weeks. Remind everyone who you are. And what has your success been this week?
Nice being here, and I'm sorry I will have to leave soon. But as always, inspiring to listen to all the panelists. and get to know the people around. And I took a week to be in the mountains. So first we were able to just connect as a family and be together. So that was great, and just enjoy a better weather than the humidity and high numbers in North Carolina. And I am a leadership coach and business coach. I help social business leaders, as I call them, that want to create something that is beyond just the income, which is fine, but there is something beyond, connected to purpose, values, and the community. And I always say that I help you get to the third solution. And for me, the success this week was that my article was posted in LeaderCast. It's a great website for leaders. And that was very exciting for me to see my article about influence in their part of their blog, talking about how not just to push into actions and engage what I call the being energy. Many times we focus just on actions, and we forget that on the other side, there are some emotions and mindset and thoughts and self-limiting beliefs. And when we work just from what I call the doing energy, we might miss the opportunity to influence people for change or create a change for ourselves. And I know you all know that, because you know that many times you take all the right actions and you don't see the results. And from our conversation here, I know that many times, rather than telling people what to do, you take a moment just to listen to them and see what are their needs and wants and maybe concerns, and then have a different conversation that allow people to connect with you and want to do business with you. So that was in the nutshell the article that I shared, and I'm very grateful that I could share it with you.
Congratulations. And if you could drop where people could read that article in the chat.
Thank you.
Everyone will have the opportunity to check it out. What was the name of the publication, the article again?
LeaderCast. It's a great platform to learn everything, resources around leadership. And they have webinars and blogs. And so I will share it here. Thank you.
And what's the name of the article?
Influence people through leadership, how to make the change succeed. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being with us, Noah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Katia, welcome to 3 Martini Lunch. You got to be almost next to last for the first hour. Are you okay?
I sure am.
Did you enjoy everything that people are talking about?
Yes, and you know, I think one of the things that I like, it's, you know, some people's success are as much personal as they are business, and I think that's the beauty of this panel. And for me as a business coach, I always say then our life really intertwine. Our successes, you know, personally can really help our businesses, and this is truly a panel reflects that. My success is I went to the beach to work at the beach last week. I didn't go on a vacation. I actually went to work there. We had a beautiful view, and it was actually a very interesting success for me to go there. And I had decided previously that I will not judge, which is hard right now. You know, either we stand on one fence and with all the masks and all these things, or the other side. And knowing that you're going to the beach, you're really going to have these two sides. And it was very interesting to have decided that we were not going to have any negativity on what was happening. We were just going to do our own thing and what we believe is right for us. And honestly, that made the week so fun for us, because, you know, we did go on our bicycle. For us, you know, we love our mask, and we had that, and we were right on the water, and we took walk and went to the grocery store and cooked. And one of the things that I loved is we went to see a fisherman, and I'm a fisherman's daughter. I come from a very small village in France on the ocean. And that fisherman provided twice for us amazing crabs. Then we cooked, and when we came home, we cooked for the entire family. We had all the kids come here, and the success really is one of my oldest son said, "Mom, there's nothing better than this. Sitting around food, reminding me of old memories when we were in France, and really sharing this food. And it takes 3 hours to eat, and just going over stories and going over culture, and really, no matter what, there's no business, no grand business success could give me that joy at that moment. And at the end of the day, I think that's it. Our businesses are amazing, and I love the success that we have, and I'm growing, and I have a second book out. But really, when you ask me this question every single week, it seems like most of the time I go back personally. And I think that's a great, I don't know, it's a great way, to come on this panel. Yeah. And does that make sense?
And it totally makes sense, because I think things are just being reframed. Still very actively involved in business. Sarah and I work very long days. We work very hard. We work many days. Even when we say, hey, we're not going to work, we end up being pulled into work. Since I've been on this call, we've been on this call for 1 hour. I have 10 phone calls to return in that 1 hour. People want to reach me, but it's just the business just doesn't seem nearly as important as it did 20 weeks ago when we started this. And my family means so much more to me. My wife is extremely important to me, the most important thing to me in my life, my children. And I got to tell you, the cooking. All over Facebook now, I see people showing the meals that they are creating for themselves and their loved ones. And, not all the food looks great, but you can see the love and affection that's being put into these meals that maybe some of us business people, we didn't have the opportunity to do that. We were going to Burger King and McDonald's and getting takeout and eating, crappy Chinese takeout and unhealthy food. And now we're, creating healthy, nutritious, full of dishes. And that's what I'm enjoying seeing in Facebook. And then talking about those dishes with my friends, with, Adam commented yesterday, and Katia, Noah always, puts out some beautiful, healthy food, nothing like what I prepare. The total opposite of what I prepare, which is all, comfort food. Now, right before I did this, got on the call today, I made a pizza from scratch. I did my work, hopped on, 1 hour before the call, made my own dough, made my own sauce, and had pizza with my 2 kids and my wife. Took a quick nap, because I'm at that age where if I know I'm going to be doing something like this, I need to take a nap first, and then jumped on the call to be with you lovely people. Now, I want to talk about a really lovely, fantastic person. He doesn't really get enough credit for what he does. He is the National Director of Business Development for Rockstar Connect. He introduces a lot of panelists to this program. He helps us get sponsors for our events, helps us plan the way the company is moving forward and how we're pivoting in these times. He's also an extremely successful business person and networker himself. Of course, those of you who know him know who I'm talking about, Mr. Scott Rutter. Do you want to, well, he must have knew I was talking about him, because he already unmuted himself. You knew it was you.
Thank you, Steve.
Scott, you don't talk about your business too much, and I really want to just give you, a couple minutes to talk about your success. Now, he's had a lot of success. Right before COVID, Scott made a completely different career change. He was a banker with everything that comes with being a banker, banker's hours and boring, just terrible banking. And he changed to a totally different career, insurance. And he's with Goosehead Insurance. He went out during his training out to Texas, and I knew he was going to do fantastic, because his first week there, he was the #1 person at writing cases out of the hundreds of people that were there during their training. They gave him a trophy that was as tall as he was. just this enormous tall trophy. And he sent me a picture of it, and you could see he was like the cat that ate the canary, because he knew he made this great decision to pivot and have a different career change. Then he was voted, well, why don't you tell us about some of the honorariums that you've received just in the short period of time that you've done your career change?
I don't think I need to say much else, Stephen, and it wouldn't take very much for a trophy to top my height. I'm not that tall, but
you're taller than me.
So anyway, thank you so much for the introduction. So first to go into the successes. So I actually have two great successes this week. So number one, being able to bring Victoria on the call. I'm so excited to hear her speak, in the second hour of the segment. And it's all thanks to Rhonda Sher that, I met you, Stephen. So again, I want to make sure that I give her credit and accolades.
Now keep in mind, Scott is in Raleigh. Rhonda's in California. But Rhonda introduced me to Scott. So this is how Rockstar Connect works on a national level. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're absolutely right. And the power behind LinkedIn too. I mean, Rhonda and I have never met face to face, but it was through LinkedIn that all this is possible. So the second success for the week is I got to go to a really good friend of mine and great referral partner, Christopher Cherico with Guardian Tax Solutions. So he invited me out to his place at Lake Gaston, and we leveled up the relationship that we had. So I successfully, number one, through failure, I broke my finger. So I wish I could show it here on the screen. So it swelled up pretty nicely, but I successfully was able to, after 3 fails, make it up and go, what is it called? Not wakeboarding, but wake surfing. So that was really, really cool. And once I got on there, I think I got it down pretty pat, because I think like my best run was about 1.5 minutes before I then wiped out. So it was really cool getting to know his wife. And if you don't know Chris Cherico, he's here in North Carolina. He is the best tax expert and also what I call tax surgeon in the Carolinas. So definitely connect with him. But as far as the other thing, Stephen, leaving banking, I've never thought of myself as being in the banking business or the insurance business or, the retail business. I'm in the relationship business. So I just chose, I guess, as my vehicle or the vertical insurance to help, do that for me. And it came down to one simple thing, legacy. So I want to be able to do, betterment for my family and hopefully provide them with a life, to where they won't have to worry about, finances as much. And then also I've always been one to volunteer a lot in the community and do it through time, which I believe time spells love, especially when you don't have the financial resources to, put some of that out there. But I hope to get myself to a stage to where I can also donate back into the community financially. So, yeah, and I think truly the success, comes from having the service before self mindset. Karma, of course, I'm a big believer in karma, and just being a go-giver and doing the right thing, right? Lead with value.
100%. And we have that discussion almost every day, Scott and I. We speak with each other. If it's not on the phone, it's a text every single day, probably multiple times per day. And usually it's sort of like a telepathic link. So like, oh, I haven't heard from Scott. Better reach out to him. Make sure my spidey sense isn't tingling. And so yeah. we're in the second hour. We are solidly in it. We have some new people that have joined us. We have Jenny Midgley, Robert Hayek, and Jack Brockman. Is Jacqueline there too? I don't see her there. Oh, there you are. And Jacqueline, you can put. Did I embarrass you? Is that why you turned off your camera? And Jacqueline Wittenburg is also with us as well. And they're going to get to participate in the question. Sarah's going to put the question into the chat audience. The question this week, so you guys can be prepared, because I'm going to go to Sean J before I start having to dive into the question is, okay, would you delete your Facebook account? Why, if yes, or why not if you won't? Okay, so this is a good one, Kristi. Now you know why it was relevant to what we were talking about before with, negativity, etc. Why or why not? And you can go even further. Even if you would like to delete it and you can't, you can tell us why you can't as well. Like Sarah absolutely hates Facebook. She's a Reddit person and she sort of hates Reddit too, but because of business, she cannot delete her account. While you guys are thinking on that, and you can look in the chat, it's written there as well, so you can dive into that and think about a little bit more. I'd like to introduce Shaun J. This is Shaun's third time appearing on the 3 Martini Lunch. But beyond that, Shaun has been coming to Rockstar Connect events, to the North Hills Networking event live, gosh, since he was a kid. I mean, really, he was a kid. I don't even know if he legally could have went to the first initial events. But one thing, he's always been a professional no matter what his age is. So he's sort of timeless in that regard. He is a world-renowned magician, and he's also a corporate magician. What is a corporate magician? A corporate magician is someone that goes in and helps with team building and teaching a lesson and letting people learn about how to be confident about their own magical powers, etc. And in the age of COVID, he has pivoted, and he's been running fantastic Zoom events all over the country for different companies and individuals. Just, smart, just real smart guy. He's been on the cover of magazines. He's been on national TV programs, and we're blessed to have him here. And he's here, he's donating his time because he believes in Rockstar Connect, and he really wants to share his magic with you. So Shaun, would you mind sharing a little bit of magic with us today? Who's going to be your victim?
Everybody's going to, Victoria has made herself vanish, and now she's reappearing quick as a flash. Nobody's
great magic, and she's got a great dress too.
I promise nobody saw that. Nobody saw how that was done. So I've actually been working on some new magic since the last time we've met, and I wanted to share it with you since there are some of the same people here. Always want to keep it fresh, always want to keep it fun, always want to keep it exciting. So I'd like to share a little something with you to music. Keep your eye on it. Cheers. Now, can you see the little ball under the glass? Yes? Yes, okay. Still there. That's because it really is under the glass. Gone. And cheers to you. And that's how you make something disappear without any camera tricks. And hopefully I can make all of your boredom and monotony disappear at your next virtual meeting. And that's kind of how I do it. Thanks, Stephen, for letting me share that with you guys. Can't hear anybody. All right. For some reason,
You're muted.
I don't know. For some bizarre reason, the sound cut out. I can hear everybody now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to answer the question first regarding your Facebook account. Would you delete your Facebook account? Why or why not? And if you can't, why you can't. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've had this conversation many times with people. If I didn't carve out a career as a public figure, I probably wouldn't have anything to do with Facebook. I think for me, in my industry, Facebook is good just as part of the social media presence. With that being said, I actually spend more time on my business fan page, Shaun J Magic, more than my personal, because from a personal standpoint, yeah, social media definitely has its downfalls, and we often see a misrepresentation of other people's lives, which can be very dangerous for us to compare ourselves to. So I would say I wouldn't rely on it like personally a whole lot, but just to share my business, what I'm working on, my visual art, and to communicate that with my clients, I think it's good. And sometimes some people, it's bizarre, some people won't even pick up their phone, but they'll respond to a Facebook message. So I've had to do that a couple times. I see a lot of heads nodding there. I don't know why that is, but some people just like hearing the ping on their phone. That's
and that may be where they're doing their business. Like, here's a little tip: if you want to get someone to answer their Facebook Messenger, make it a group.
Okay.
Make it a group one and add one other person in that they don't want to make. That way they're not going to ignore it, because
Now
someone else will know.
There's social pressure there.
A little bit of social media pressure there.
Wow.
Jackie, you're a big Facebook person. Would you delete your Facebook account? Why or why not?
I wouldn't delete my Facebook account, Ben. I wouldn't, because number one, first of all, I think with any social media, but in particularly Facebook, you have to be able to sift through the bull, if you will, and also to understand that people who post things that are be mean or just rude to other people, that they're not posting things that inspire people to be the best that they can be. Those are the types of people that you can delete from Facebook. So I would not delete my Facebook account, because I hope that every day that I'm on Facebook, I'm posting to inspire people to be the best that they can be. I'm not posting to get people to compete against me. I'm posting to belittle people. I'm seriously posting, hoping to inspire someone to feel better about themselves, giving them an opportunity to connect with other positive people, and to share great experiences that they've had. And if they do need help, I think it's good sometimes to be able to reach out to people whom you feel may not be judgmental. If you have some issues, I've heard of cases where people's lives have been saved by being a part of a social media group. So no, I would not. I have nothing to hide, and I am not out to get anyone or mistreat anyone. So no, I would not delete my Facebook account.
I would assure you, because I follow Jackie and what she posts, and she occasionally will tag me in posts that she does about her foundation, the Derek Wittenberg Foundation, which provides grants and scholarships to people so they can finish university without having to take on student loans. But I follow her, and she's 100% authentic. Her social media exactly matches the way she is, and I do know her personally, so I can vouch for that.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. And she posts some good food pictures too.
Well, now sometimes I do feel a little inferior when I see your food pictures.
Whenever I take the food picture, my wife is very tolerant. Whenever I take those food pictures, I know she's going like this. But she
So I have to ask you, Stephen, do you stage?
I do move it a little bit around on the plate so that it looks, pleasing. It should be stacked in the proper way to look good for the camera. But
It's always so beautiful. So
the
I
lighting is for some reason is particularly good at that table for taking pictures of food. So I think even if I made a bad meal, it would probably look pretty good under that.
Well, your photos are always beautiful, and they make me salivate.
Thank you. I love my Facebook. Facebook, it's difficult. I manage many, many group pages, very large group pages.
Mm-hmm.
some of them with, tens of thousands of people in them. And you end up, whether you want to be or not, you're sort of like God of that page, or you're the king, because you have to make sure that people aren't ripping each other's throats out.
And I am quick to delete if I see any they may not be responding to me, but perhaps they don't agree with someone else's opinion that's left on my page. Anything that is offensive to someone else, I don't delete the page. I just block that person from posting. You lose your privileges.
Well, that's, one of the advantages of having a group page. For those of you that don't have a group page, you can allow posts there that may end up being controversial or make statements that may end up being controversial, and you can turn off the commenting for the entire post. So that way you're just putting out the information and people can get the information, and they can still put a little burning unhappy face, but they aren't calling each other other names. I mean, I'm dealing with, I'm like the referee, like they'll write to me and say, oh, so-and-so isn't being nice. So this is sort of one of the things I found in COVID. We're almost, it's not that we're reverting, but the mask is off.
Yes.
Okay, we're just the same way we were when we were 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We're exactly the same way, and we just have like older bodies, and otherwise we're a whole bunch of 7-year-olds, and that's where social media can really get sort of not great, when people are their worst elementary school selves. Kristi, I know you want to talk a little bit about social media. Would you delete your Facebook account, and why or why not?
No, I would not. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. First of all, I'm always late to the game on these things. Like, I had 100 Facebook friends, and now I have to keep deleting to let people in because I keep hitting my 5,000 reach. However, this political season has freed up some space. Also, the same with this virtual Zoom, I've been, kicking and screaming. And so now I've decided to embrace it and just going to use it, as I said, to travel the country and meet people. So, but I'm always a little stubborn about it. But once I get there, I go for it. But with Facebook, I've had 100 friends that were actual friends. And then I got involved in the music community through the Rock Boat, which I've shared with you before. And so I became a part of a group, and that exploded from there. So, and then I used it for business. So I use it a lot for business. However, I just recently, because I've always done everything for my personal page, because it was easier. And I'm finding that I wish I had more control of myself in the time that I spend on it, because I'll look down in 2 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have got things to do. However, I also like to debate. I hit delete a lot. But I've met some really cool people. And the thing is, I've actually 2 people. One was a gentleman that reached out to me in the middle of the night. I don't even know how he was a friend or some acquaintance who was going to commit suicide. And I was able to stop that. We're friends, and some really cool things happened from that. And another lady had fallen, and it was the middle of the night because I'm a night person. And her phone wouldn't work, but for some reason Facebook would, and she reached out to me, and I was able to, not as easily as you would think, because you can't call 911 from a different county. It was kind of crazy, but was able to stay on there with her and get her some help that saved her. So I thought, this could be a pretty awesome tool. And I've also met some really incredible people, regular people across the country. And then I find myself, especially when I start talking about some controversial issues, but the other day I was talking to somebody and there was a comment, and she's best friend. Her best friend is a princess of a country, and she's best friends with Bill Gates. And I'm like, the next day I was talking to an NFL player, and I'm going, this is really, how would you ever meet these people any other way? So, and I having so many friends, I have a really diverse group of people. So I think it's fun. It's useful in business, as I said. So I started running the Facebook ad, which I had never done before. And I'm more of a network. I love to network. I love to connect, but I like to hug you around the neck, meet you in person. So this is definitely a transition for me, but I'm having fun with it. And yeah, the Facebook leads worked great. I am getting some mean people on it, but you know, like I said, I like to debate. But I'm trying to be. It's a business page, so I have to rein it in a little bit. But so no, I wouldn't. I would like to be able to control my time on it a little better and have some more, you know, self-control in that area. But other than that, I like it.
I just peeked. Wow, that was a little bit of reverb there. Did you hear that?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So let me try that again. I just peeked over at my Facebook and I have 124 posts to approve. 120. And what have we been on? An hour and a half. So Facebook is all consuming. I wish I could delete it, but I could never delete it at this point. You know, it is so important for my business, but also I feel as a community leader to service a community on Facebook and a group. It can be a thankless job, but also can be a job that you reap a lot of benefits from as well. Rob Hayek, he's sort of new to Facebook. It's only been a couple of years for you. What do you think of Facebook? Are you going to keep your account or should you delete it?
Well, my personal account's been there for a while. Actually, I started that for my son because he's a musician and I wanted to get his stuff out there and meet new people for him in the business. And then my business page is the one that's basically new. And it seems to work pretty good. The ads are working well for me. I mean, I get calls from all across the country, which is great. And it saves me a lot of money because I've hired different marketing firms to do the same thing, and I was getting better results than they were. So,
well,
I don't think I
can
want to get rid of it.
if you don't have the right agency, working with you.
It's possible.
100%. Well, I'm glad you're going to keep your account. Jenny Midgley, I'm sure you have some strong opinions about this.
I have opinions. I mean, they just are what they are. Would anybody like some statistics about Facebook and why you should not delete your account?
Sure, please go right ahead.
I will happily share. So 71% of American adults use Facebook, and the majority of those are women between the ages of 18 and 49. So if you want to reach the people with the purchasing power, you want to be on Facebook. The fastest growing demographic is seniors ages 65 plus. They're growing at a rate of 7% over the last year as teenagers are dropping. So the reality is, whether you like it or not, you need a Facebook, right? Like personal page and a business page. And for those that say, I post on my business page and nobody pays attention to it, it's okay. The engagement rate on business pages is average about 3 to 4%, but posts with video get more than double that. So if you post videos on your Facebook business page and you post frequently, you will be able to garner engagement. Now, you may wonder why I know all of these statistics, and that's because this is my business. I teach people how to leverage themselves on the different social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, website, email marketing, all that stuff. But one of my personal rules is that I don't post anything I don't want you to see. So my life is literally an open book. And if I don't post it, it's because either I couldn't be bothered with it, I forgot, or, it's the irony of being a professional photographer that I'm like, oh yeah, I should have taken a picture of that because I don't think about it, which my husband gives me flack for all the time. But at the same time, like, I don't care if you see my kid crying. I don't care if, I've actually made posts about that because people are like, your kids are always so happy. And I'm like, no, that's not real life. So I appreciate that, there are social constructs that exist within the social media space. And if you can live within them, and leave the fluff and just kind of take it for what it is, then you'll be much happier. Now, one thing I do really appreciate is the unfollow button. I don't really care. Like, I don't create an echo chamber for myself because I think it's important to have different opinions and viewpoints and personalities. However, if you are hateful or unkind, I will happily unfollow you.
Well, what I found is, because I've been using, the snooze button less than the unfollow. I get to the unfollow or the block, and I sort of stop myself and say, I'm going to give this person another chance. And what you find is, when you do that, all the people that agree with you, how crazy they are. And then you look at yourself and go, maybe I'm a little bit crazy too. Mm-hmm. These are the people that are similar to me, and they're nuts. So therefore, I better let these people come back onto my page so I get other points of view. And it's interesting because they all come, I have a lot of friends on my page. So, when 1,000 come on that have been snoozed all at once, it can be very jarring. I must tell you. But there was a certain point, it felt like the only people that were left on my feed were my wife and my mother. And my mother,
it's interesting that you say that because it's about who you interact with. Like when so if you were interacting with nobody and you were snoozing everybody, of course your wife and your mother were the only ones that were left on there because the AI in the back office of Facebook was like, he doesn't want to see anything else. So it's really like everybody should try and experiment. It's really fun, actually. Like, go find people who you haven't seen up in your newsfeed in a while and go just go to their page. You don't have to interact with anything. You just have to go to their profile and then watch what happens in your own newsfeed and why things come up. So one of the other statistics that's important for businesses is that 53% of adults say they don't understand how their newsfeed works.
Yeah, it works. I mean, I do that all the time. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is how many of you have friends from that you went to high school with on Facebook that you haven't seen since high school? Aren't some of them like the Unabomber? Like you never knew they were going to grow up into the Unabomber, and that's what they are essentially.
Or they're super successful.
Or they're super, yeah. I mean,
you're like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I went to school with, because of the area that I grew up in, the high school that I went to. They're in Forbes magazine and on the cover of stuff, and they've had very interesting lives. So it's definitely good to keep up with them. Adam Bricker, we grew up in the same neighborhood, maybe within a few miles of one another. We didn't go to the same high school, but we were in the same clubs in high school. And we went to the same university, although we didn't know each other in university. Now, all these years later, through Facebook, we know one another. Although our paths probably crossed, we might have been within 100 feet of one another thousands of times growing up. But because of Facebook, now we're fast friends. Power of Facebook. Are you going to delete your account? Because you are a big Facebooker.
I have no desire to delete my account. I'm a connector. I enjoy social media. I don't take it for what it is. I mean, obviously, if it's on Facebook, it's true. So, of course, that's one of my favorite sayings. I absolutely adore the ability to connect with people, whether it's through mine, which is a private media, whether it's through here, like we're connecting on a private media, or if it's in social media. And I absolutely adore Jenny. She just nails my same exact philosophy here. I look forward to the day when my life is as good as my Facebook life. I only put up what people want to see. And it's really, just a great way to communicate with people, stay in touch. My groups from high school have Facebook groups. And even though in high school, you were with people 2 years before you and people 2 years after you, our group is 20 years both directions. And it's really cool to see that interaction year after year, day after day. So yeah, I don't plan on deleting my Facebook account or my business account or my groups anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I'll probably open up another group before I delete my next one.
Yes, groups are, if you're just relying on a business page, you're really losing out. Establishing groups is the best way to grow your business, to create organic leads, to establish yourself as an expert or an authority. Mm-hmm. check out groups of Facebook. Rockstar Connect is built on Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And for our hosts, we manage their group pages to make sure that they are engaging with the people in their tribe and in their nation. So therefore, I would never be disconnecting Facebook. And luckily, Sarah gives me a lot of latitude. She understands that Facebook drives a considerable amount of her business. But what she tells me, I always will share with her something I see on Facebook, and she goes, "Oh, it was on Reddit first." Because there's those Reddit people. They don't like Facebook. She goes on Facebook. She doesn't love it that much.
So one more thing I use Facebook for. Sarah Weiss, who's the SaaS boss, who if she found out I was on here and said I was single, would maybe make me single again. We did a virtual book tour with her this past week, where people came on the screen. She picked up her book. She signed her book. They got to meet the author. They got to hang out with her right on Facebook Live. It was a really cool adventure and a great way to get exposure for her book, connection to her fans, and meeting people that she's never met before. It's a really great way to use social media.
Yeah, for books, it's great. If you were an author and you have a book, definitely use Facebook. I ran a Facebook campaign a Facebook and LinkedIn campaign when I released my first book, and it was a #1 bestseller wherever English was spoken in PR and publicity. So that's Australia, New Zealand, Canada, U.S., Great Britain, Honduras. You don't know, but English is the #1 language in Honduras. That being said, go to the Facebook group. Check out what Adam's doing with his new product. It's really, really cool. And I see some people you're probably going to connect with Kristi and Jenny, and definitely with Michael Arrick. I know that he'll have a call with you. Michael, let's unmute you and let's hear your opinions on Facebook. Delete the account, keep it. Why not?
Well, it's funny you bring this up. I had to go through that about in 2018. I found out some bad news. One of my best friends was cheating on me, my girlfriend. And I just shut down everything. Like, I didn't know how to react. So I had to move back from Dallas, Texas, and move back to New York. And what I did was I got off of social media for like a year, and then I built a big team. And then I got back onto social media, but I got rid of every single person that was part of that nightmare. And I just started. That's why my name is Michael Residual on Facebook, not Michael Arrick, because I don't want to connect with the same people talking about the same thing in the same place, in the same bar, in the same town, just 50 years older. Like, I'm done with that.
I mean, it's okay though. It's been a long time since that happened. You can put Michael Arrick back. You can be.
No, I don't. No, I don't want it. No, because I don't want to connect with those people. Those people still. I mean, I don't even have the password. A friend of mine has the password. I'm not, because I was addicted to Facebook. I was really putting too much into it. And what I realized is that, I focus more on me and focus more on the things that are in front of me than focusing on a click and someone's meatloaf is done in Georgia and, all this nonsense. Darren Hardy says there's 3,000 distractions a day, and you have to, bite them look at other ways. And, and I see it all the time, and I got a lot more done by not being involved in any of that stuff. So I go on a little bit, I do my thing just to show presence, but I get off too. You know what I mean? And it's funny because the only people that connect with me are the people that I really want to talk to, that I really want to give my time to. You know why? I'm getting older. Like, I don't want to keep talking about the news and the weather and NASCAR, and we're done with that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, and like you said, the Unabomber, they're always looking for an excuse, and they're blaming everybody else, and they're angry at the whole world, and they're putting it on Facebook. And meanwhile, they ain't doing anything. They're sitting in their home in pajamas, doing nothing in life. Nothing. And I don't want to be associated with those people.
Well,
one day,
I tried that meatloaf recipe in Georgia. And it was absolutely life-changing. I never knew that you could put peanuts in a meatloaf and use a Coca-Cola glaze. So I beg you to revisit that recipe. Jackie and I have both tried it. She'll vouch for you. For it. It is an excellent recipe. So Jack Brockman, if he is on Facebook, he must be like the ultimate lurker. He never posts anything on Facebook. He is a LinkedIn guy. He definitely is a LinkedIn guy. but I know he's there on Facebook. He is the guy that's lurking. So I doubt he would ever delete his account. What do you say, Jack?
Well, that's fine. Because you almost had me wondering if all my high school people are looking at me now, wondering if I'm the Unabomber with that comment. Because Clint's going, yeah, he probably is. Thanks, Clint.
We'll take your profile pic with a hoodie.
Yeah, there you go. See, my answer to this going in this was 100% I could. And for a lot of the reasons other people have espoused to on it. Now, I will say, once again, this is great that you host these kind of things, Stephen, because I'm learning more things about snooze buttons and all the other things we can do to kind of filter out the nonsense. But I will have to say this isn't necessarily specific to Facebook, but I know just with all the stuff with, oh shoot, I forgot the guy's name who started it. Somebody anyway, that he got in so much trouble because he wasn't doing a good job, keeping the content secure. And oh great, now my dog's gonna start barking. So the other thing that annoyed me about it was my wife posted something and they took it down and said, oh, it was done by anonymous fact checkers. And that bugged me too. It's like, aren't we in a place of free speech where if people want to put that, even if it's nonsense, they should be able to put it out there. I'm smart enough that I can ignore it, but it bugs me that if somebody puts something out there that someone who can make a willy-nilly decision, I'm a fact checker and we're taking that down. That just kind of bugged me. So I try not to lurk. I appreciate you noting that of me, and I'll try to comment more on your food and your recipes going forward, so I don't have that stalker mentality. I apologize for that.
You're much more likely to get an invitation to come over if you comment on it.
Gotcha.
That being said, I think that if you take a deep dive into Facebook, I can tell you can make a lot. If you want to make money, I mean, if you do want to make money, you can make a lot of money on Facebook if you understand how to use Facebook. Same thing with LinkedIn. I mean, people are really bad on LinkedIn. And I took a sort of a challenge, and I'm talking about LinkedIn because I'm going to come to Clint, who uses LinkedIn and is the only bald person in North Carolina that does not have a Facebook account. Strange fact. He does not have one. So we're going to get to him in a moment. But I've been posting business stuff on LinkedIn and getting absolutely no engagement. So I started posting the posts I make from Facebook on LinkedIn. So I started posting pictures of my puppy and my food and little happy memes and stuff like that and jokes. And I am getting so much more engagement. It is incredible. So
just be careful though, because you'll agitate the diehard LinkedIn people saying it's not meant to be a social.
I want to agitate them. Believe me, anyone who takes life that seriously, I don't want to do business with them anyway. I want to do business with people that love warm puppies. Happiness is a warm puppy, guys. Clint, expert on LinkedIn, diehard LinkedIn person, enemy of Facebook. Would you ever delete your LinkedIn account? Why or why not? Because we're not going to say Facebook because you don't have one.
If it got like Facebook, I might. But because it's not at this point, absolutely not. I've done way too much business on LinkedIn personally, but to be honest, man, I mean, I would never be able to get rid of my network. I wouldn't be able to let those people go. The people that that I used to be friends with on Facebook, and I got rid of my Facebook 7 years ago, and haven't been back since. But the people that I was friends with on Facebook, I'm friends with in real life. And if I'm not, I don't really care about what you're doing, to be honest. But if it's LinkedIn, it's more about my relationship with the business side of things and my relationship with those people that I'm actually friends with, because all of my referral partners are friends of mine, and so I don't think I could ever get rid of that. I haven't come across any kind of negativity on LinkedIn, so I definitely wouldn't do that. But as far as Facebook, man, it was too much of an endless scroll, way too much drama for me, so I didn't feel like it was beneficial. It's all about the digital detox. And I have a recipe that if you haven't tried yet, my wife is a glutard, so she cannot have any kind of gluten or she has a bad night. We made almond flour pizza. And it was incredible. And you cannot taste the difference at all. Almonds don't like me, but this almond flour was a little bit different. And it wasn't very filling at all. And so if you guys like pizza, but you don't like the feeling that comes after pizza, definitely try the almond flour pizza. It's a game changer for sure.
Yeah. You know, in Rockstar Connect, we have sort of a contrary view of things. So there are networking events you go to where people write like the name of their business, their last name, all of those things. You go to Rockstar Connect event, people just write their first name. And you know this, you go to a lot of those event clips. Because first of all, it makes it a lot harder for people to stalk you if they don't know your last name. And secondly, we want people to know who you are first. Because that's who you choose to do business with. I mean, there are differentiations. You know, of course, some insurance agents may be better than and some lenders can be better than others. But I mean, if I don't like someone, if I don't jive with them, I don't have chemistry, I can't do business with them. Because I know I'm eventually going to have to meet them in person, possibly, which I try to avoid that unless it's in a social situation. But I'm at least going to be on a phone call with them. And it really, really just stinks. But Facebook, I mean, you make so much business. I mean, I got last week in my messenger, someone I went to high school with wants to buy a house in DC. Can I connect her to a real estate agent in DC? What does that mean? I just made a connection through Facebook. That's a $15,000 referral fee right there. And that's the second time with that person that I've done that through Facebook. We haven't spoken to each other since we were 16 years old.
Well, you know, Stephen,
unless it's on Facebook.
All of the folks that are on this call, Scott and Dominic, who is not with us this week, have tried to get me to get back on Facebook, man. But if my mental health is way more important to me than any kind of business that I may gather from there, man. And if I was friends with you on LinkedIn, I'd probably only be friends with you on Facebook. I like Michael's suggestion of putting a different last name. I think that's a great thing. I never even thought about that for some reason. But
well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add you onto my Facebook and I'll put your picture next to mine. And I'll say, anyone who wants to connect with Clint Webb, please go through Stephen David Elliott. I'll make an introduction. Now servicing not only your networking needs, but your printing needs.
I would go for that.
That's the next step.
All right.
You're the new guest, so I'm going to give you last word. But Jenny is like dying to add something here because she's really mad about what I said about LinkedIn. Go ahead, Jenny.
I'm not mad at all what you said about LinkedIn. I was like trying to get all the stats so I could be like, yes, what you're doing is correct. Like, don't be mad. Like, don't say that you can put food and there's a place for it. I was just getting excited. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So, because LinkedIn is the most underutilized platform. So like, it is absolutely 100% a social media platform now. There are 9 billion weekly impressions of content, but only posted by 3 million people a week. So 9 billion impressions by 3 million people a week. Think about that for a second, right? Like the same people are posting over and over and over again. So you have the opportunity to snake your way in there and get people's attention. So, and it's where like the cool kids hang out who really are intentional about their business and their B2B networking. So
excellent. So there's some great tips, and I'm glad you're not mad at me.
No. How can I be mad at you, Stephen?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so Victoria, we have 7 minutes left. You're going to be the last person that we're going to be talking to now about. Did I get everybody? Did everyone? Oh, to Scott, you didn't get to talk about Facebook. What? Scott, unmute yourself.
I was trying. So for me, no, I wouldn't delete my Facebook. Although my wife would love for me to delete my Facebook. But, you know, I'm very blessed to, I have somebody that I work with here locally, Justin Mitchner, that manages my social media profiles for me. So he does my LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, because I have no idea how to even Instagram. And he keeps me engaged with the audience. So if I'm on social media 30 minutes a day, that'd be about the extent. 20 minutes to Jenny's point on LinkedIn and 10 minutes on Facebook. But really, I just enjoy it from like sharing memories, you know, checking into places. which my wife said is very unsafe, you know, sharing some family photos. So, but nope, Facebook's going to stay.
Excellent. So TikTok, you know, which is having all sorts of problems now. There's someone here locally. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to say their industry, but they're about my age, probably younger. I think I look a lot younger than I am. And I find out everyone's 10, 15 years younger than me. And she's providing financial information, and she dances like in the video. And she is such a bad dancer. But I'm guessing, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm guessing it must be getting her business, because she's been doing it consistently every day now for, Jenny, what is it, like 3 months now?
At least, like, it's been quarantine happy of like, how do I get myself out there when, you know, the world is falling apart?
This is not someone you would expect to be seen dancing on a screen, but, you know, you try different things 100%, as long as you're not being mean or picking on other people or, you know, shoving your beliefs down other people's throats. Hey, Victoria, do you prefer Victoria, Vicky, Mrs. Woods, Mrs. Robinson?
Victoria's good. Diva or Victoria, either one. I'm good.
Just don't call you late for dinner, right?
That's exactly right. I love my food.
And so I'm not friends with you on Facebook yet. Did you send me a request yet?
It's gonna, before we hang up, yes, you will have a request. You probably already have one.
Okay, so I have a feeling that you do use Facebook.
I use Facebook, but I am very disciplined.
Okay.
I understand. First of all, I would not get rid of it, but I use it for personal because it is a rabbit hole. I have goddaughters in Canada. I have young women that I mentor in New York. I have 6 homestay daughters that are scattered across the world. I have 10 nieces, and that's what I use it for. However, I also have business pages that we use, but it is a rabbit hole. If you get on at the wrong time, like Jenny, I think it is said, I mean, you're going to be there. You could be there for 2 hours and, it was Kristi. And you just go, good Lord, what happened to my day? And what could you have done in that time? So when I do coaching and training with, for sales professionals, what I talk about is you don't get on Facebook. First of all, you shouldn't get on it during the day. Even if you did it at lunch, that used to be discipline. Now it is don't get on at all. Get on Saturday morning. Just look once a week if you're using it for that. Now, if you're using it for business, that's different. And different businesses benefit from Facebook. Being a wealth manager like I am, and my minimums are $5 million, that's not where my people are. My people are on LinkedIn. So you need to know who your ideal client is. You need to know where they are, because the social media, I do this training on social media and marketing where it's just a nightmare because there's so many platforms. And you're really smart if you're like Scott and actually has somebody manage that for you if you're successful enough. Like I have to have somebody manage Instagram because I could be doing that all day long. Now, do I post things when I'm out and I'm at a party or I do something? Am I going to take pictures? I'm a queen of picture taking and posting, but it's going to be something that is encouraging, inspiring, motivational. I'll put some little cute thing on there to inspire people. I'm like, Jacqueline, who, if it doesn't inspire people, encourage people, or support people, it's not coming from me. And I don't know what all that nonsense is about the political stuff and the nasty stuff. I've seen it on other people's Facebook pages. I look and I go, this can't be yours. I'm looking at it going, it can't be yours. I mean, look at this nasty stuff. And they go, oh yeah, that's mine. Everybody knows me better. I would snooze them or block them or, you're gone if anybody posted anything that was offensive. So I don't participate in it. But would I get rid of it? No, absolutely not. Actually, I have Chapelwood Financial District of Oklahoma, Victoria Woods, and Financial Diva. So there's just 4 for Facebook alone. And then we've got LinkedIn and we've got, every Instagram and Twitter accounts. Now I do get on the Twitter from time to time, but that is something different. That is a different way to use that particular tool. And who was it said earlier about we had to learn to pivot? My team had tried to get me to do YouTube videos and do a YouTube channel because I've been interviewed so much. They're just sit out there. Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't understand you could make money. on YouTube. I mean, they're telling me, Victoria, we're making money because so many people, just in 3 months, we went from like nobody subscribing to your channel. So please subscribe. And it is pretty entertaining. I do a lot of entertaining stuff. You know, probably, Stephen, the biggest views we got, I think, was for the PPP. And the second one, I just was cooking one night and I was trying to learn how to use it. And I had my camera there, sitting there while I cooked this meal for my husband. And I'm like, and this is what we do when we're all eating more together. And I show him what I'm cooking. People love that. I was shocked. Nothing about content of value to help you grow your business, but what I'm preparing for dinner.
Well, I mean, people want to know, I mean, what you do. I mean, the fact that you're cooking tells them a lot about the way you treat your finances too, because you certainly can make money instead of cooking. You could hire a cook or a chef or what have you, but that's your contribution to your family. And it relaxes you.
And it was what I was preparing for my husband. So you're probably right. Everybody's like, oh, isn't that sweet?
It's humanizing, right? Yeah. You know, and it shows people exactly who you are and what your belief structure is and how you spend your time when you're not making money for other people.
Yeah. Well, and they know that I love a margarita with the Mexican food, so I had to have a margarita, and I cheers everyone. But and they definitely know I love champagne, so they learn a lot about me. That's for sure.
Well, we are exactly at the end of the second hour. I want to thank everyone for coming, especially all the new people. All the information is available in the chat. You can save the chat and start pulling that information out, or you can go to Rockstar Connect and request, and we'll send you the chat so you can get all that information. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 2 to 4 p.m. We can't wait to see you. Thank you to Sir Elliot for producing this show and handling all the questions in the chat and making sure that we don't go off the air or that I say something embarrassing on the air. Thank you all very much. Everyone raise your hand and wave goodbye. Hope to see some of you, if not all of you, again next week here on the 3 Martini Lunch.
Thank you. It's nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye, guys.